Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. So today we're continuing our ongoing coverage of the Russian-Ukrainian war, and specifically today, I wanted to talk about the reported use of a new weapon system in the mainstream media, and not so mainstream media, by the Russian Air Force. Now, what's interesting about the reported use of this new weapon, it is tied to the Ukrainians possibly receiving US F-16s. We even heard of the possibility of French Mirage 2000s being handed over to the Ukrainians. Now, they are tying, again, the use of this new weapon system to the need to have these aircraft delivered to the Ukrainians. So what the Ukrainians are saying is that the Russians have started to use a new type of glide bomb. It is called the UPAB 1500. It's essentially a 1500 kilogram precision-guided weapon system that utilizes global positioning or GLONASS technology to very precisely strike targets. And the Ukrainians are saying that Russian aircraft are able to launch these systems from very high altitude and what they perceive is fairly long range. The reality is that weapon system has a range of about 40 kilometers, the UPAB 1500. So the problem with that report, and again, saying that the Russians are just starting to use this new weapon system, and this is why we need fighter aircraft to be able to chase down these Russian aircraft that have launched these standoff weapon systems, these UPAB 1500s. Now the problem is these weapon systems, the UPAB 1500, has been used since the early days of the conflict. And it's interesting to see how media will then take a certain weapon system and declare that it is just starting to be used in the conflict. We have video evidence that indicates that this glide bomb has been used by Su-35s, Su-34s, fullbacks, again, starting from the early stages of the war. So it's interesting to see how that narrative, which is, if we say that the UPAB is a new weapon system that is now being deployed, is false. It's a false narrative. It originally was tested back in 2019, I believe. I believe it was actually first used in Syria. Could be wrong on that, but I believe it was. And again, used in the very early stages of the conflict. Now, most of the time we hear about, in terms of Russian precision strike capability, we hear about Caliber cruise missiles, KH-101 cruise missiles, but there are a wide KH-59s, but there are a wide range of Russian precision strike assets, including glide bombs and various types of glide bombs, not just indicative of this one system that is now being talked about. And again, that appears to be attached to the Ukrainians desiring F-16s or Mirage 2000s. Again, I don't know how the Ukrainians would deploy those systems, how effective those systems would be, meaning the F-16. Again, they're probably going to be deployed in very small numbers at a very, very limited amount of airfields in western Ukraine. So it's just interesting to see this narrative now that, hey, the Russians are deploying this new weapon system. It is a long-range, extended-range glide bomb. Now, would you call 40 kilometers an extended-range glide bomb? Probably not. Even at 40 kilometers, that's going to put you in the envelope of many air defense systems that the Ukrainians possess, including the S-300 and newly arriving systems that the West is handing over to the Ukrainians. So to say that this glide bomb is out of range of many of these systems is simply something that is not true, and it is essentially not a new system as well. I want to talk about that. I wanted to look at that. We're continuing, obviously, to watch the front line as well. Not a lot to report in that regard, but we will continue to watch, report, and bring you more information as we get it. But right now, we are watching this uptick in apparent pressure to deliver these F-16s or Mirage 2000s to the Ukrainians. There's even apparently Ukrainian pilots, at least 2 Ukrainian pilots presently in the United States, currently reviewing the F-16, kind of looking at what the capabilities and the training of Ukrainian pilots are and the feasibility of the Ukrainians being able to operate F-16s. Anyway, that's where we set for today. Thanks for joining us. Have a good day.